anytime soon. That's going to be pretty impressive.
If we watched it, though, I saw something I hadn't seen yet, which was the emotion come from Yusef outside.
Oh, yeah. I did see that.
They put the Reverend's body into the hearse. Yusef shared the emotion came draining down.
Well, having lost both of my parents, man, I can tell you the emotion comes with the finality of the burial. It is a moment, right? You know, and then obviously these moments before you go to the cemetery is when you see your loved one for the last time. And the last time human eyes are going to be put on Reverend Jackson has already happened because they have closed the casket, I'm assuming.
Indeed. And this is so different, though, because I have not ever experienced one where so many people were so impacted by one person. When we hear the president of South Africa really go into all that Jesse did around this whole issue of apartheid and what he brought and how he stood when this country and the leadership of this country otherwise didn't. It was just, why everyone was here. Why the president from the Republic of Congo was here, because it was beyond anybody or anything else in dealing with those that had otherwise been disposed, discarded, and put out upon.
Well, Reverend Jackson had a purposeful focus on South Africa and on Africa, right? And so, the president of South Africa made a very good point about soil, right?
Yeah.
And his commitment to, the soil in Africa. And Rev was, man. Rev was just as much as Dr. King was. You got to realize, man, Reverend Jackson was, now some people aren't going to understand this, but Reverend Jackson was bigger than Dr. King because he had a longer body of work. You know what I'm saying? He had a longer career to do things. Dr. King's career was what?
39 years.
He was
13 years. Yeah. 26 from 26. Think about it. Dr. King was 26 when he took over Dexter, and he died at 39. And as he got on the scene at Dexter during the bus boycott, you talk about there. Reverend had 60 years in the games, and so. His global impact, he was very intelligent and strategic in how he organized, push around the world. And he was able to, people got hope from seeing what was going on in America, in Africa, in South Africa, right? And all over the world, wherever oppression happened. And Reverend Jackson was the light of all of that energy. Man.
The president said, and I've been to all 9 provinces of South Africa, and he said that he flew 9,000 miles in 24 hours. And I think he's due more than 2 minutes. I like it in him. His spirit was righteous. And he put a claim on not only the legacy, but the life of the late, great Reverend as their own. And I appreciated that. That was very moving for me.
It was so much. And I have to tell you, I have to go back and listen a lot because
me too.
Junior came through and Junior said those 3 presidents who spoke yesterday
did not know my father. Did you hear him?
He said it. He said they
but when Junior tell it, he's telling like a TIS.
They did not know him. And, to just listen to Junior speak and such. We spent a lot of time replaying the Reverend speeches from 84 and 88. But I recall we spent a lot of time reviewing Junior's introduction of the Reverend, because he is profound in how he puts
and he was so honest. He said, when I got the name, it was good. That was a word. That's what I love about him. As I'm looking at Ms. Eunice, I love his truthfulness because it is righteous. But one thing about it from Jonathan, like he said, run, Jesse, run, to rise, Jesse, rise.
Rise, Jesse, rise.
Oh, that was a word.
Rise, I have to tell you, I did have an opportunity, and this is really an opportunity to spend a little time with Sandy inside.
Yeah, I was just talking to her. We were just talking to her.
It was good.
She's so full of life.
She really is. She hated that they didn't make it to DC, so she made it here, and it's just been such a journey all the way through and holding on. So it was good to see her in there.
But what the greatest one that moved me to tears that I connected with was Jacqueline.
Yes.
And I really share my moments of being my father's caregiver. Rarely. And she made me so emotional because she was so eloquent and poised and in sync with how she from start to finish, from Alpha to Omega, the walk with her father. I really appreciated that. As a daddy's girl, I really appreciated that. That was rich for me.
And we always hear from everyone. We don't often
Never hear from her. And she said that she made it clear that was some private time. And then she spoke with a word. She said, I will finish every word. She said the whole, that's my husband teased me for. She enunciated the whole word like this. Yes. And I said, oh, you got my undivided attention and support, ma'am.
And she paused to make sure that you understood.
Absolutely. She meant what she said, and I supported her with every word.
And she said a lot.
Oh, yes, she did.
There was so much. I mean, there was so much that came from them. They shared Reverend Jackson over all these years. They shared so much emotion, so much of what it was to grow up Jackson today. And it was really, really special. You look at this contingent of children there, very successful people. You know, you listen to Santita sing this, she just sang the song.
Did she sing the song? Did she sing? S-A-N-G. I mean, her voice is so boisterous. It was just so overwhelmingly just amazing. Sora did her thing. She really did.
It was really, really special. Really, really special. Every single part of it. Stevie was here.
Now, I love Stevie. And I tell when we cross-reference with KJLH, I just love Stevie. So all my family texts me. I was so nervous as he walked by. It's very rare I get star-studded. But it's Stevie Wonderland, if I may say it.
Stevie makes it a little bit confusing, though, because you want to talk to him. You want to touch him. You want to say something. But obviously, Stevie can feel your presence in different ways and how his sensibilities work.
Well, he was correcting the history of a song. You remember that part? He said, we went from we shall overcome to you. And he pointed out to who you are.
Yes.
And that was very powerful and probably won't be uplifted, but it definitely will be on WVON. Yeah, I can guarantee you that.
About getting the language right. This is what, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes.
Because this is what makes the work that we all do so important. As I watched other things when I got home last night, obviously on a high, so I sat and I watched a little bit of Chicago Tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They did so little on the Reverend's.
Everybody has not done enough.
They're watching something they do so little, but you check in here and you're going to get it all, and you're going to get it full, and you're going to get it every day, because this is where it's really important in what it is that we do to uplift us, because it's ours to do.
And that's what makes WVON so special. And it is not only a privilege, but it is our assignment to get history right in this moment, and I believe we have conquered that and then some.
I think that's why that big picture is up there when we come in every day of all of the good guys.
Yes!
And these are the shoulders upon which we stand. These are the messages upon which we.
That was Isaiah, them big shoulders.
Man, and I listened. I don't know what I was listening. It was Reverend Jackson this morning, who talked about when Purvis Spann, the blues man, would in between playing the blues come on and give commentary and give information. So we weren't always taught, but we were always getting something.
Yes.
And I think back to the early days when each of the DJs went off with something. And it would be Father Open Our Eyes, or it was the Desert Dada. It was something that we had to hold on to as we left each DJ station. So this station has been given the power to us over all of this time. And I think today, this weekend, last week, was from the Reverend to kind of refill our batteries, recharge us, and tell us what we have to do to continue to push information.
In fact, I was just having this conversation with some other push folk, and I made it very clear. Next week will be the test of time in terms of all the folks that have shown love. That's great. But if the work is to truly continue, I'll see you at Push on Saturday.
Let me say this, and that's important that you mention that as well, Cleopatra, because today they had to shut off the number of people who were coming into
yes, they did.
The sanctuary.
We witnessed that, yeah.
Yeah, the fire marshal came and said no one else in. There have been too many weekends when they've been in a small conference room because there weren't enough people here to make it make sense. Those people need to be here every Saturday. Yusuf needs the support to move this movement on, and we need to support him in doing that and continue to elevate it. And, I get that we now have social media. I get that you can watch it on TV. I get you can even listen to it on WVON. but there is nothing like the personal touch, and there's nothing like being here and being a part of the movement.
I agree. I mean, because this is where the magic happens. You don't know. It's like our studio. You don't know who's walking in the door. You don't know what assignment is going to happen. The news cycle is so vengeful and just rapid. You don't know what assignment is going to become, what task we have to do, and it can't all be organized.
$16.90 WVON remembers the Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr.
I am black, beautiful, proud. I must be respected. I must be protected.
You were a beacon of light, not only for Chicago, but for the nation. From our family to yours. Rest in peace, Reverend Jackson. Job well done.
The talk of Chicago is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Community Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
Is it enough? Everything that we're doing, the question is, are we doing enough? Because there's so much more that needs to be done. Are we bringing enough people along? Are we doing enough? And within all these places and all these people, it's not a question just of me, it's not a question just of you, but it's also a question of all those people who are listening and all those people who aren't hearing the message to know that it's important that this message be carried and more things be done.
No, I agree. I think at the end of the day, look at you, Delmer.
I know he's a new.
That's my father-in-law's closest friend, one of his best friends. Delmer is in the building. To your point, I don't think it will ever be enough. I don't think we feel that of any of our parents. I wish we can do more than enough. But I think throughout the body of the work and the service that it goes on, that's enough. And it won't be enough until we all show up and show out in some special way. I think the biggest part, as I spend time with Reverend Wilson, is the work. They will never, a true push member will never let off the gas of doing the work.
You can't, because there's so much work to be done.
Absolutely. So I think that's where we measure how much you put in is what you get out.
Yeah, we refer to your children a number of times over the last few days because that's really where we are.
Yeah.
It's the next generation. So for me, your children are the next generation. Now that I know I hang out with your dad. But your children are that generation that we really have to make sure that we're empowering. Then we can start to relax a little bit because it's if everybody gets to the next generation, the 2 generations down, then we can really know that the strength and the work that we're doing will continue on. I really hope there's a day. I pray for the day so we don't have to continue to fight the fights that we've been fighting.
Well, I mean, but the true warriors say every generation is in a fight for their lives. So I don't know if there's a day.
But yeah, to fight different fights.
Correct. I think it's
fight.
Levels to the fight. And I think that's what you're speaking to. But I think it's so many wolves that wait at the door to feast. I don't think it's ever a day.
Yeah, well, this is what we had earlier a conversation about voting, and that conversation will perpetually be here because that's the one that we fought so long and so hard for. And we continue to have to keep fighting for it because they continue to find reasons to keep it away from us, which simply tells us how valuable it is.
Absolutely.
So we must every time exercise it. What do you got to say, Matt?
About what?
Anything. We haven't heard from you in a minute.
No, I think
you pick it.
no, I think that we are, coming to the end of the journey, Reverend Jackson. The cemetery, the procession is about to begin. He goes to the cemetery, and we return.
Which cemetery is he going to?
Oakwood.
Okay.
He had 300 cars with him.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
we return our brother.
Is it just 300?
I'm sure, right?
Man, look.
There may be some people that are waiting, right? But I know they were preparing to have a 300 car.
I'm gonna tell you, man. It was when Mayor Sawyer died. Obviously, I was part of that funeral and the procession, man. It was pretty impressive when you have like a noteworthy person funeralized in a procession. With a mayor, it was amazing because they have a lead car from each police district. They have a car from each police district leading the way, and the motorcycles and everything. Man, it was just absolutely amazing. And Reverend Jackson, I'm sure, is going to have a police escort and
a lead car from each country in the world.
Right, he would be deserving of that.
He is with the ancestors.
Momentarily, and people are probably in the streets. You probably will see that if you are on the south side in between Push and Oakwood, you will more than likely experience the procession as we
give
Oakwood? Our brother back to God.
Where is Oakwood?
Huh?
67th and Greenwood. Okay, thank you, Titus.
The one right there, the one you pass all the time. Right by that gas station because I was almost running out of gas.
Isn't that where Mayor Sawyer is? I thought so. I'm trying to put.
I think Jesse Owens, Harold Washington.
Lee Bay just did a story on that. I was reading it. Yeah.
I remember Harold Washington's procession and the crowd just.
Look, this is one when you go to Boston, you can go through funeral homes and you can see that you see all these historical figures.
Mm-hmm.
Oakwood is that.
Yeah, it is.
You go through and see the
and what's interesting is you have a range of people there, because when we were there for Mayor Sawyer, you have all these Black historic people there. But wait a minute, then we saw Cap Anson, who was a former Cub from the 30s. It was an outright bigot. Refused to play in a game if Black players. He was going to quit the Cubs if they had a Black player. So in the same cemetery, you have that.
Did you dig him up, man?
Yeah, well, I think we did take a pee on his grave.
Oh, golly.
Man, he couldn't be left alone.
You're lucky we didn't dig him up.
Well, they're probably doing some things to him down under, because that's what it somehow gets and deserves. This has been a wonderful celebration of life for Reverend Jackson.
I agree.
I am so honored to have been with you all and have been.
Me too. I'm very humble. I mean, this is the historic encapsulation of this moment. I don't think we can process right now, but over time we will.
As Isaiah said, not one of a million, one of one.
One of one. Isaiah said a lot that Mr. Thomas, I look forward to meeting you, sir.
This is bringing that West Side love.
Oh, man.
Bringing it right.
Didn't he, though? Like, he was raising up the banners when Mayor Johnson called it out. He said, I was looking at this procession here. It looked real South Side. He said, but you want to get out on time, cool.
There you go. So, good. It was good to have the West Side was represented.
Oh, very much so. Very well.
I would just say, even if it was only those two, it would have been enough.
That's a big two.
It's a huge two.
The mayor of Chicago, the 57th mayor of the city of Chicago, lives on the West Side. That is a big one. Anything thereafter
proudly
is
West
a big
Side.
Two.
He's proudly West Side. So, this has been. The people are still gathering here. I guess there are a lot of folks who aren't going out.
No. You know how now we're gonna get to Black funerals. In this Black funeral moment, as I look around, amen. Everybody acting like they ain't seen each other for the past 2 weeks and all of the hours of today.
That's kind of it. And reunited
and feeling so good.
Well, and then won't see each other again until another of these things. But
Yeah.
Chris Tucker was here today.
Wasn't he though?
Said he thought this was going to exceed beyond Aretha's funeral, which went for just about, I don't know, either 7 hours or 7 days. I don't know.
Well, the story he told was so reverend. Because I try to tell it in a different way. Like, you walk in this building, ain't no telling when you walking out. You just be ready.
You don't know what's going to happen. You
don't know what's going to happen, what you're going to work on, who's going to come in, what assignment you're going to have. Just be rest to work.
But I heard some other things too, and this was so true of the Reverend, because this was true leadership. When you come here and you'll be here for one thing.
Yes, you will.
And the Reverend then stands there. He closes the door. Nobody's leaving. And then he organizes committees. And so he calls all these people over here, everybody who tell me what you're interested in. And then he calls the committee meetings that happen right there in the moment. You have an assignment when you leave. And I recall when the Reverend would call me down because something was going on. He'd call me down to the broadcast. To do the broadcast, Brother Rufus, we'll have a press conference after you stay. Which also meant I was giving up some money before I left. Because he always called me out by name. But then a press conference, and it was interesting because the media may not know what the press conference is for, but everybody was here.
I mean, when he raised his banners, he raised the banners.
He did, and people responded and people reacted. And you said sometimes, we had the opportunity to be part of it, had the opportunity to be engaged directly in it. And so seeing that, and it's only in these moments when you can sit back and see the broad reach of this man, when you see the president of South Africa, fly overnight,
9,000 miles, and I know the flight. I mean, but he made it very clear, 14,000 kilometers. I heard him. I said, "Oh yeah."
It was also interesting this afternoon to watch Reverend Meeks and Reverend Jenkins tried as hard as they could to keep control of the services. They tried as hard as they could to try to keep things on some schedule. Just like we said yesterday, when you've got 3 presidents, when you've got when you got the children speaking, when you got people speaking today, you can't make me be short about what I have to say about the Reverend. I can see the pain on Pastor Meeks' face at each point when he was really trying to get people.
I mean, but they did a superb job for what it's worth. Superb job. I think at the end of the day, I just thank God for being able to bear witness the stories that I will be able to uplift and tell my children, but they're ongoing because my children will be a part of here. They will grow up in this building and be a part of Push Excel. As their mother, the plans that I have for them, I'm preparing to be a part of the room that we're going to make and create, because in order to keep hope alive, you got to do the work. And one thing about what the Speaker of the House says, the first Black Speaker of the House, Chris Welch, always says, winners do the work. So we want to win for generations to come. We have to work. We have to work. It's hope no other way.
Hope without work is just a dream.
Yeah.
Nothing happens, and we've got to make some things happen. It's still, the people. Here's the interesting thing around here, and the people we see are people who are working.
Mm-hmm.
Where we are right now is there is a leader that we lost, a leader across so many different things, and no one person is going to be able to pick up the mantle that this man carried for as long as he did. No anyone comes in from where he did. Nobody begins. He didn't begin on first base. He began in the dugout, in the bathroom of the dugout, and was able to pull through there. And no one else is going to have that level of experience that he has to do the things that he's been able to do. But some of us will understand the experience that he has and be able to carry that on. Mm-hmm. And that's why I engage with so many. And as we look around at the seasoning of the people here, this is where it becomes so important that these messages continue to carry on.
I mean, when you look around at the audience, especially in this room here, and that was in the sanctuary, the who's who of Black excellence and those that are committed to the fight, that's real.
That's real.
Right? And no matter where they're at now, some of whom flew in from DC, Atlanta, all kind of places, they're still committed to the fight. And that speaks to the volume to who he was and is I think that's the volume to who he was.
And talking to the people on the inside, to your point, people did come. They came in this morning from everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Flights were delayed. They were rushing in. We knew early it was going to be a problem because we knew early all these people were not going to fit.
Oh, no. And that was so.
Even going to be close. But I will tell you, we spent some time upstairs in the
yes, we did. In the overflow room. That's what the food was.
That's what the food was.
Yes,
the food was
yes,
good.
Lord.
The food was good. And what was it? The crack cake?
Oh, you talking about Pookie crack cake.
Pookie crack cake. Let me tell you something about Pookie's crack cake. That was some good cake.
Well, I mean, they got a story behind the name, but yes, it was.
Well, she's gonna come on with me and talk about it. But yeah, that was I said, well, which cake is good? She said, all of them are good. It depends on what you tasted.
That's it.
Now
I like the praline.
That's the one I had. I'd like to have one of each, but I decided not to be greedy.
I didn't want to be greedy either because I've
so
only
many
had
bakeries
praline.
But there was one here, and that's the one we talking about.
Oh, okay.
There was one here, and that's the one we talking about.
The official sponsor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how there was only one, but there was one. There was one bakery. There was one coffee.
Coffee. Yep.
Was it Coffee Brew and Podcast?
Coffee Brew. A brother that only hires the youth. So I spoke to him. Yep. Oh, yeah. He only hires between the ages of 16 and 24. He is very specifically targeting. So for everybody that is constantly looking at who's making room, there are lots of folks that are making room to elevate our young people.
Indeed, and more. And if you're not, then you should.
I'm telling you, because that's an investment to secure your future too.
Let me say this. Yesterday, we had an opportunity to hear from Jim Reynolds.
Yeah, that was good too.
He was really good. He talked about the engagement of the Reverend and how these businesses would not have worked but for the Reverend's engagement and involvement.
Especially in finance, where that wasn't even his stilo.
That's right. It's a clean finance.
Not at all. But he gave nothing but credit. If it were not for the Reverend, not only the boardrooms but the stock rooms, the business side of the mercantile exchange. Amen. Like he spoke about the multifaceted aspects of how he made Black millionaires, and they raised that up again today.
John Rogers spoke today.
Yes, he did.
John Rogers comes in from the finance part with the same thing. The Reverend would open the door, and John would be on a plane. And so we look at these things, and people often call on John Rogers and Jim Reynolds when we need contributions, when we need whatever it is. That is the Reverend still giving back, because their businesses thrive because of what the Reverend did in opening those doors. Now, I will say there are many more doors that the Reverend opened beyond John's and Jim's, and there are many more people who need to still be supportive of this organization and other organizations, wherever it is. But the giving has to continue to give, because that's what the Reverend did for so many people.
I mean, it's elongated. I think the list is so extensive. They can only do a service maybe 2 weeks, but we could have went 3, 4 if you really want to know.
Well, because there are a whole lot of people. Everybody you heard from was somebody that you knew.
Yes.
There are a whole lot of people with a whole lot of stories.
Well, a lot of people he touched, and they talked about that too. And that was in Junior's message.
Yes.
Right. And when Junior tells the story of the stranger.
Yeah.
And how he tied it to his father. His father impacted the lives of millions of folk that will never be able to travel here and never be able to articulate in what way, but benefit from years to come in a special way. And that's powerful.
An unidentified stranger, that person, that work that's done that you don't know that work is being done. It's really special.
Well, and it was that aspect of the stranger Reverend changed lives. And I think we are in a position to continue to do so.
You know, there's a book coming from Junior, because he said he hadn't developed the story.
Yes.
So he's only giving it to you in 4 minutes because he hadn't developed it yet.
Yeah.
But you can see the story. You can see it kind of as he developed, his book on the
Michael Dyson is going up the stairs.
Michael Eric Dyson.
That's right. Dr. Dyson is in the building.
So, there's so many stories. We have so many things to talk about.
I mean, there's so many avenues, you all.
So
the folk that have come through the door, I just want to take a moment of personal privilege and on behalf of my colleagues, thank our CEO, Madam Chairwoman Melody Span Cooper, for this moment in history to be shared, for us to have this privilege to be the storytellers. We are the narrators in this moment, and it is because of her and Pierre that we have this moment to do so for Black America. We are heard around the world, and I do not take it lightly. And as we are calling out these names, I just saw Ambassador Earthlyn Cousins leave and go. She's been here for the past 2 weeks. God bless her.
Speaking of the West Side.
Yes. Okay. Like, so as we come and go, I was just walking past Ambassador Mosley Braun, you know, as Darlene Hill coming down the stairs, the who's who, and I can go on and on and on. But yet and still, if it were not for our Madam Chairwoman and the CEO of Midway Broadcasting, Melody Span Cooper, we wouldn't even have this moment to tell you all, to testify to a moment such as this.
And we certainly appreciate that, and appreciate all the others who helped us out here.
Yes.
It was the three of us, and LaDonna was on yesterday at the end of the show. But, you know, we've got Titus, who got out of his sick bed. Titus has not been on my show all week.
No.
But he drug himself up and drug himself out and helped us through yesterday. And he was here today working in the background, working the scene, and really making all these things.
I showed Titus a text message. I said I needed a prayer. Titus wasn't going to be here yesterday. And then I turned around. I promise you, he was right there. He literally out of breath and all. I said, well, let me show you something that make you laugh. I said, I know you're trying to breathe, but yet and still, he appeared. Because I was like, I was going to have a meltdown if Titus wasn't going to be here.
Said, what are we going to do without Titus? I asked that question a couple of days ago. What are we going to do with these remotes? Because I don't know if we've done one without
But one thing about it, I got to also acknowledge my super producer. That's right, Matt and our super producer, Sonia Walls, who came click-clacking in heels and all to make it happen in terms of finding high and low the talent to execute the vision that we wanted for yesterday. And man, so I really appreciate Sonia.
And she drives down to Mississippi.
Yes.
And I don't know if you heard, but we're happy that she made it, because she had a close call yesterday. After I dropped her off at her pickup truck. So
Oh yeah.
We're happy for her. Shapira was in the studio.
Yes, she was.
All of these things going from that side, and she has been wonderful and really helping to make this work.
In other words, guys, it takes a teamwork, and we have a dynamic team at WVON.
And Matt's giving his last comments.
Matt can't sit still. Come on, wrap this up, man.
Come on, Matt. What do you have for us?
Well, guys, just a historic journey, the end of an amazing life, and the procession is on its way to the cemetery, and it's the moment where we give our brother back to the earth and to our God. Yeah. And it's a sad moment, and the cycle of life.
But every road ends somewhere. None of us stays forever. But to have a dash like this brother has, to be celebrated like he is,
what does Santita say? To God be the glory.
To God be the glory, and to Haven be the repast. So,
all right. Titus telling us to wrap this up, guys. So we're going to bring it home. This WVON show has come to a conclusion. So you're listening to Cleopatra,
Rufus,
Matt,
and that's it.
And we
see
out.
You all on Monday.
Absolutely.
Chicago, Juliana Stratton isn't being honest about who she is. Fact, Juliana Stratton was the hand-picked candidate of the corrupt Madigan machine, the same machine that spent millions to put her in office. And Stratton repaid the favor, defending Mike Madigan even after his bribery